Hey, how you doing? Once again, this is your professor, Professor Ken, aka Pimpin Ken. Today's lessons are, as always, the secrets to success. In our previous lessons, we taught you about purpose, we taught you about desire, we taught you about imagination, and we taught you about persistence. But before I begin to teach the new lesson, which is leadership, let me say that if you really want some good game, log on to hiphoppk.com, join my game college. I have 48 classes where I teach game and I give you my movies, my audiobooks, and everything free. So just log on to hiphoppk.com if you want to receive that, or pimpinken.net, whichever one is more convenient for you. Today's lesson is leadership. You either got to lead, follow, or get out the way. We know that leaders lead by example. Many years ago, I was reading out of a book called The Circle 7. And in the book, it talks about a leader leaves his footprints clearly cut, so all can see that he, the leader, went that way. Leaders lead by example. Leaders leave their footprints clearly cut, so all can see that they went their way. But it also says in the chapter that any man can point the way. Any man can say, go here, go there, go there. But a block of wood can do the same. All you got to do is carve a hand pointing to go that way, and people will follow the block of wood. But today what we're talking about real leadership. We're talking about ones who walk that walk and talk that talk, who speak with two tongues, the tongue in their mouth and the tongue in their shoe. They walk the walk and they talk the talk. They lead by example. And there's only one way that you can lead by example. There's certain principles and there's certain categories that you have to have. Many years ago, I was studying Napoleon Hill, and I came across this 11 attributes of leadership. And I would like to share these attributes with you today because I think that they are very profound and they are quintessential to one's development and becoming successful in life, the keys and secrets to success. One of the principles that Napoleon Hill talked about was a pleasing personality. Without a pleasing personality, it is very hard to make it far in life, in the field of leadership. A pleasing personality doesn't simply mean that you got to be pleasing to the eye. If you walk up to a person and you frown like this, he's going to also frown. But if you walk up to a person and you're smiling and you're happy and you're pleasing to talk to, that person tends to be more receptive or more easier to get along with a person that is pleasing than he will be with a person that is not pleasing. Number 2, self-control. A man who cannot control himself can never control others. How many times have we seen people that are just out of control? And first thing we say is that person need to go and sit his or her butt down. He is out of control. She is out of control. But when we see a person that's cool, calm, and collective, and he conduct him or herself in a very debonair, smooth way, we tend to gravitate to that person because we feel if that person can control him or herself, he or she can possibly also control us. So you must have self-control. You got to have 3, good decision making. You got to be a good decision maker. One of the reasons why making good decisions, have you ever drove in a car with somebody and they say, make a right here? No, I think make a left there. No, go straight. And they frustrate the hell out of you. Why? Because you know that this person has a bad decision process. This person is not capable of giving good directions. But when you got good decisions, when you say, look, go this way, this is what we're going to do, I'm definite about this, there's nothing going to change my mind, that shows that you know exactly what you want in life. And people like to follow good leaders that know exactly what they want and know where they're going. Not a person that's all over the place. That's not going to happen. You got to have masters of details. That's number 4. And one of the reasons why master of details is so important, because when you master the details, that means that you know everything about your leadership position or about the business that you run or the game that you're in. You got to master it. If you don't master it and you don't make it a part of every other part, then people are not going to follow you, because you're going to be all over the place. You're not going to know exactly what you want done. You're not going to know what needs to be done. They call a master plumber. You hire a master plumber or a master barber because they know exactly what to do, because they have mastered the craft. Take the blame. I speak on that in my book, The 48 Laws of Game. No matter what happened in life, if you are over someone and you're the leader of this person, or you're the leader of this organization, if something happened, you always have to take the blame, because it is not the person who failed. It is your policies. It is your decisions. It's your lack of understanding or your lack of the ability to give them the correct information to do whatever it is that you want them to do that has failed. So you always got to take the blame. Number 6, work together. Cooperation is so important. Like I said in one of the previous lessons, if you got 10 sticks or 1 pencil, you can easily break it. But when you got 30 pencils, it's hard to break. Unity, cooperation is very important. That's why they got assembly lines. You go to any car plant, you see it's assembly lines, because everybody's cooperating with each other. And that's how these multi-million-dollar companies are successful, because they have a spirit of cooperation, everybody working together. Understanding. You have to understand the other person's position. If you grew up with a father and somebody else that you're a leader over, they didn't grow up with a father, you got to understand that this person may or may not have certain things that's going on in his or her mind that makes them feel deprived or makes them feel uncomfortable because they never had the opportunity that you had. So you have to be understanding that, listen, this person did not have a father like I had, or this person did not have the education that I have. This person was not born in the game like I was born. So therefore, I understand this. So I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on this person. I'm not going to hold this person responsible for what he or she does not have. So understanding is very important. Do more than pay for. One of the keys and the beauties of good leadership is when one just take the personal initiative. You work harder than the rest of the people. And when you do that, and you have employees, or you're the leader of a particular organization, and people follow you, and they see you doing more than what they pay for, then they're going to follow your example, because you're the leader, and they're going to want to do more than pay for. And that's very important. Good plans. I got a whole chapter on plan, but I'm going to speak on this briefly. The reason why a plan is so important is because, have you ever seen a person in a city, and that person does not know where he or she is at, and they asking everybody questions? Which way do I do to get here? Which way how you get there? A smart person will plan the trip. He will have a map. He will know exactly where he or she wants to go. So if you're a leader, you definitely want to map out things. You want to have a plan. That's very important, and good plans at that. You got to be fair. If you're the leadership, if somebody get caught doing something, whether it's in the game or whatever, if you find somebody they're doing something out of pocket, then what you do is you address that person accordingly. But if you find somebody else doing the same thing, you don't treat them different than you treat the other person, because that's not good leadership. Good leadership calls for one to be fair in all endeavors and treat everybody the same if you want to get the same results. Number 11, you have to have courage, unwavering courage. You got to be fearless. Good leaders, and even, we go back in history, we talk about people like Napoleon. We talk about people like Mansa Musa, and we talk about Haley Halassis. You know what I'm saying? All of these people, they were men of strong courage. And that's one thing you got to have if you want to be a great leadership. You got to understand these 11 principles. You got to make sure that you make them a part of every part. You know, you got to follow the things that I'm telling you, because leaders lead by example. They walk their walk and they talk their talk. And if you want to be a good leader, I urge you to follow these principles. Log on to hiphop.pk.com. I'm gone.